Well, I'm going to start by saying that in our rapidly developing world, the need to increase housing space will unavoidably result to massive urban developments. It is said that in 1925, only 25% of the global population lived in cities, but by 2025, it is estimated that this figure will probably rise up to 75% or probably even more. The new cities that are to be developed are often considered as smart cities. There, technology takes the lead. Sensors and big data analytics propose and probably moderate the optimum way to live in these cities. At the same time, people living in the cities experience a huge pressure to adapt to this phenomenon of a constantly raising complexity. Everyone seems to construct a unique physical and digital reality to rest and to make a pose. This dual reality gives people their own sense of belonging and provides a meaning to their existence. Throughout history, cities were formed as a necessity and an expression of the common needs and the common culture through the mutual experience of a place. So even if urban development in the 21st century is ought to be driven by data analysis, I believe that urban design should not only deal with the quantitative design problems. Instead, it is imperative for all urban approaches to focus on the extractions of the qualities of a place. Urban thinking manifests as the main discipline where contemporary architects should be involved. In our project, place, and more specifically, the experience of a place, the common experience of its qualities, preserved to present time, come to the foreground. We strongly believe that these qualities mean something to all of us, deeply connect us to our past, reveal our present and future, and let us communicate with each other. The common experience of a place enriches our interaction and dialogue and allow us to be freely ourselves inside an atmosphere of a cultural community. Our practice seeks for a design approach where the past, the present, and the future coexist as a composition of meanings, forms, and special experiences. I will be presenting some selected projects of our practice, and my aim is to show you how this common experience is the main axis of our concepts, manifesting from smaller scales to larger ones. So, in the first project in Atalandi, a suburban area in the continental center of Greece, we proposed a housing complex in an old mining site adjacent to the sea. The new structures slide into the existing ones, maintaining an open-air courtyard when someone, the visitor, can have the experience of the ruins. The new structures act as a gestalt factor for the ruins. Their own structure is completed in perception and they regain their ideal form. The common experience of the ruins, as it is in most archaeological sites in Greece, is that they are perceived as solid stone walls or columns still standing against the forces of nature, whereas the roofs have already collapsed, revealing a view to the sky. The dwellers experience the notion of time in the past and in the present through this intermediate open space, which allows light to enter the house and provides privacy from the neighborhoods. In our project for the design of an art college in a suburban area of Cyprus near Paphos, We designed a small new village of art by multiplying an existing house unit. We call this unit the minimum domus, which evolved accordingly to the constraints of the plot and the physical characteristics of the landscape. Allow me to say here that Greeks and Cypriots share a common vision and experience of the Mediterranean landscape and are often both engaged in projects in Greece and Cyprus. This proposal blends the existing buildings with the new ones and provide a public space for creativity that opens to the community. The new structure is a synthesis of volumes intersecting each other and thus creating a plasticity where the play of shadow and light changes the perception of this sculpture during the daytime. In the interior space, there are unified workspaces and also personal work corners, while some of the units are elevated to allow the flows to penetrate the interior space. This rotation of the new units in plan level creates in perspective view a form coherence with the inclined roofs of the existing buildings. The common experience of the public pathway amongst vernacular structures is a spine that keeps the spatial continuity of the whole settlement. It is the core of the atmosphere of this place. The next project is about a new housing complex in the heart of Athens, in one of the probably densest urban areas in Greece, Kypseli. Kypseli is a well-known neighborhood with very narrow streets and multi-story house buildings, what we call polykatikia, with a unique multicultural character. In this project, we invented a new envelope for the building mass, which can control the in-between space of the verandas towards the opposite apartments and the road. The element used for this scheme is kalamoti. It's very popular in Greek culture and is constructed of the stems of a cane, a native plant in the Mediterranean landscape. It's like a very thin bamboo. Kalamoti creates a common experience of a shading system used even from the ancient times in Greece. It allows the control of the sun exposure and assures privacy from the neighborhoods. Kalamoti filters the area of the veranda from the noise of the city and creates the atmosphere of a small planted courtyard as an extension of the interior. In our competition proposal for the new Archaeological Museum of Piraeus, a new path connects the neighborhood with the new museum, the archaeological site of the ancient gate of Piraeus, η Αιτιόνια Πύλη, as it is called, and the port. The path is conceived as an urban deck, where the citizens may walk in their everyday life and have a public view of the museum's atrium, an open exhibition space, and may also have an elevated view to the port and the city of Piraeus. The urban deck borrows the form and the materiality of the ships and the boats found in the port, while a wall made of curtain metal becomes a trace of the interior itinerary of the museum, shown in the plans in the red color. The visitor recalls the common experience of traveling with a ship, standing on prow and looking at the sea horizon. He's also experiencing in the interior the notion of the wall as a fortification structure, found as spolia all around the coastal line of Piraeus, where all items are exhibited. In this building, the experience of travel becomes a metaphor for the travel to history of Piraeus and the importance of the evolution of Athenian democracy through the narration of the rich archaeological items of the exhibition. This proposal received the first prize. So let's go on with the next project. In Limassol, Cyprus again, we made a proposal for an urban development of a student housing complex as a nest. The nest allows the landscape to keep its continuity on the ground floor plan, where all common areas can be found. The entrance lobbies, the playrooms, the students' restaurant, and the gym are organized along a public pedestrian pathway. The split-level organization of these areas acts as a nexus to the adjacent landscape from north to south. All the housing units are facing each other, allowing also diagonal views to the city, and are adjacent to extended verandas from which one may access the community kitchens. The common experience of the public character of a road is interpreted here into a multi-story condition where students may come together and communicate, and while learning to respect each other's threshold, this thin line between the public space and the private room. Yesterday, Mr. Iraklis Papachristou presented his proposal of the first prize for this competition, and I was happy to see his extended presentation of the project. Our joint entry with the Cypriot architect Pavlos Ferreos received the second prize. The last project I will be presenting is our project for the new science city in Cairo, Egypt. A cellular canopy grows towards the boundary of the plot, proposing a new spatial experience of the pyramid as a void. The repetition of a module, an inverted pyramid, creates a series of semi-covered spaces, shaded plazas, and exhibition areas where the visitor may wander and explore the history and the evolution of science and technology. The symbolic form of the pyramid is reinvented here as a space of interaction instead of a restricted tomb, an avaton, whereas the materiality of the new structure blends with the atmosphere of the desert. This city is organized around an atrium and may expand in multiple phases and in multiple directions according to the needs of the science community. The common experience of this project refers to the symbolic form of this place and its relation to the human scale. I would like to close this presentation by saying that this common experience we are seeking enriches architecture in a meaningful way and reveals both the differences and the similarity of places and cities in our timeless effort to dwell this planet. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Petras, for this very succinct presentation and for keeping the time as well. The more we move into the day, the more connections and relations I find between the themes that are presented by speakers from different countries and with different origins. We'll see if there are any questions. We're okay in terms of time. I would like to ask Mr. Petras, as we have seen from the last project, the reinvention of the pyramid upside down, to his other designs, which are formally and spatially daring. And you talked about extracting the qualities of place and experience and the thin line that may divide public and private space. But the emphasis was on common space. And I wanted to ask, is there a common concept? Is there a methodology even more that connects the different projects that you showed us? Does it change when you move from Cairo to Limassol to Athens?
Okay, that's a very nice question. I'm not sure if I can have a very clear answer of this. However, I can say that the context for us is, plays a very important role, and it's very different to have a student housing complex in Limassol, a modern city, and to design a science city near the pyramids, because that plot was some kilometers away from the pyramids. So I think that the impact of the atmosphere of its place, it may probably change the way we alter the methodology. The methodology is surely based on the context, is surely based on probably on the latest projects, on conceiving some cells that by rules we give to them, they form more complex organisms. This is something I can say for our latest projects.